Okay, today we're going to do some more verification. So it should be similar to everything we've done before, just slightly different. So usually you start with more complicated side and then work to get towards the simpler side. Not always. So for this one, we have sine to the fifth of x equals 1 minus 2 cosine squared x plus cosine to the fourth x times sine of x. So you could still work on this side and get to the other side. It's possible, you can do it, but you could also work from the other side and it takes about the same number of steps. So I'm going to show you that way first. So I'm going to break this sine into sine squared, and sine, just because you can replace sine squareds with cosine squareds and stuff, and we want to get some cosines in here. So we're going to get 1 minus cosine squared times 1 minus cosine squared, and then we still have that 1 sine at the end, which we want eventually. And then we're just going to FOIL this out, and you get 1 minus 2 cosine squared plus cosine to the fourth, and then times sine of x. And that's what you wanted. So you're done. So if you're going the opposite direction, all you have to do is factor this, and you'll end up with these two things. Replace them with sine squareds, and you'll end up back at sine to the fifth. So it doesn't really matter which direction you go. You can go either way. Okay. So also so far, we've always been doing one side, manipulating that to get to the other. Sometimes you can do both, and as long as they end up equaling each other, you're done. So that's what we're going to do with this one. I'm going to start over here on this side, and then I'll eventually move over to this one. So I'm going to start by changing this to cosecant squared x minus 1 instead of cotangent squared. This is in your Pythagorean identities on your sheet. Leave this as 1 plus cosecant x. Now I have the difference of perfect squares up top, so I'm going to factor that and get cosecant of x minus 1, cosecant of x plus 1, all over 1 plus cosecant of x. So now you can cancel these two, and we're left with just cosecant of x minus 1. So I think I'm going to stop at this point and go to the other side. You could keep going and rewrite this as 1 over sine minus 1 and see where you go from there. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to switch and work on the other side. So I'm going to rewrite all of these in terms of sine and cosine. So we get like this. Now I'm going to distribute in this into all of these. So we'll get cosine x over sine cosine minus cosine sine over sine cosine. And then you can cancel things. So you can cancel this cosine, cancel this cosine, and this sine. Get an x right there. So then we end up with 1 over sine of x minus 1, which can then be written as cosecant of x minus 1, which is what you wanted. So you're done. So you can work on both sides. As long as you get down to them equaling the same thing eventually, that's all you need. You don't have to only stick to one side or only start with the more complicated side. Whatever works. So here's the homework. Make sure you check on Schoology to see what it is. There's a key on there as well. If you have any questions, let us know.